Oh, what's up, witches? Welcome to you. Not even going to go into it. Sometimes the fairies just get grumpy. But test 1 2 1 2 1. Oh, I can hear me there. Hold on. There we go. All right. I think I got it now. Tell me how things sound. How's the balance? You hear the drums. You see you, but I'm Okay, hold on. Wow, you should be hearing something. Okay. Yeah, it's been a headache. It's been a headache. It happened the other morning, and before I got ready to shoot, and I just did everything I knew how to do, and it wasn't working, and then all of a sudden it was. So, yes, the fairies get grumpy. Oh, my goodness. All right, loud and clear. Too loud? Hello. Okay, so let me back up. Hello, Samantha. Hold on. Hello, Samantha, dear. Hello, Ada. Is it Ada or Ida? Hello, Roxanne. Hello, Val. Hello, Marcy. Welcome, everybody. And if you have not checked into the chat before, what is going on the top of my head with everything else? Lord, Lord. Okay. So if you're new here and you've never checked in on chat, I have it set so you have to be subscribed to participate in the chat, but you have to be subscribed for 1 minute. So you can subscribe and then you have to wait a minute and then you can chat if you want. Goodness gracious. Hi, Joe. Laura. Welcome, darling. So happy to see you all. So happy. Hooey. Hello, Ellen. Such happenings in our world, such happenings. Close to home, I will tell you that we live within the 100-mile radius from that train derailment in East Palestine. So that's the area that they're talking about being sensitive. So yippee, we are within that area. So shields up and escape plan cooking. And just I want to say that I again thank you for all healing and blessing energies that you send my way. I am feeling with every day. We've had so many sunny days. It's miraculous, and I feel the way I usually feel at this time of year, actually better than I usually feel at this time of year. I feel myself, waking back up again. But I also have to just be so wary because anything I do can kick up that flare again. I have been in a flare more often than I have not been this year. So anyway, I'm grateful for feeling the way I feel right now. So grateful, and hope it continues. So mote it be. So, how are you all doing? How are you doing? Is everybody well? Are you all healthy? Are you feeling spring coming on, or maybe fall coming on? It's certainly there. Tavia, hello, welcome, dear. It's in the air. So today, Cliff was sitting downstairs looking at the woods, as we do. And sorry, something fell over there. And he was watching the woodpeckers that were out there at the suet cage, and they're all doing their little mating dances. And we have 3 prominent kinds. We have downies, hairies, and red bellies, and some pileateds, but we see them kind of rarely. So the downies are the little black and white ones, and the hairies are bigger black and white ones, and then the red bellies are kind of as big as hairies, and almost a flickery looking type. But and then the pileateds are the woody woodpeckers, but they're down there, and they're on the cage, and they do this thing with their wings and stuff. And then Tam and I were out running errands, and he saw all 3 of them. I saw 2 when he pointed them out, but there were 3 bald eagles, and he said 2 of them were dancing, so it was either a mating pair dancing and one that's trying to bust in, or two males that were, dancing. So, I mean, does it get any better than that as far as, howdies from the universe? Windy in Palm Springs. It's been windy here too, really windy here last night and today. And we had the windows open. It was 70 degrees here. And I have a friend who lives in Arizona, and she was posting about snow day. They got wave after wave after wave of snow. So it's crazy. It's just crazy. So this week I've been thinking a lot about my older decks, and as my unboxings kind of slow down, I'm looking at what else I can do content-wise that you guys might find helpful and interesting. And one of the things I want to do is just deeper dives on decks, whether they're old decks, new decks, whatever. Because as I've started to work with some, I have a very much stronger opinion about them, and so I may shoot some videos on that. But I've been thinking about how the old decks, I don't know that there is a single older deck that I have that's like, ooh, I can't shuffle this deck, And I wonder with the industry, when you watch things becoming profitable and, trending, and people spending money on them, then we get competitive with things, and we have to make them bigger, better, and these beautiful heavy cardstock and matte things, and you can't shuffle the damn things, and it's like, have we gotten too bogged down? But then again, it's horses for courses. If that's what you're into, right on. I wish that they would take each new deck though and issue it in the the top of the line thing, and then issue it in shuffleable cardstock. That would make me happy. Okay, let me catch up. Stephanie, hi. So tonight I have some of my older decks. We're just calling my name, and we've got the Goddess Oracle. Actually, I always do this, don't I? Because I don't have like a logical progression. But I meant to do a smoke cleanse and everything, a thorough one of these before I went live. And I did not. So we're going to start with this. For all of us and the tools that have stepped forward tonight. And while I'm doing this, of course, put your root down into the earth. Get yourself down in your body. I offer this sacred smoke by air and fire. May all be purified and charged. Oop. Oh, there we are. Okay, sorry. And by water and earth, may all be blessed and made whole. And I'll move it away from the microphone a little bit. Hold on. By the sound of the bell, may everything be clear and elevated. And we invite spirit in, the element of spirit, the element of ether, the connecting element. It's the connecting because it takes us between the physical elements and the immaterial and ineffable. That word was coming up in the shower the other day, ineffable. And let's have one more. The tone of that bell is tuned with the drums. Can you hear it? Okay. And now, guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Wow, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm just visualizing them and I'm connecting. Okay, they're ready. They're ready to play. Oh, let's fire up. And I offer them fresh water and the fire of Azrael. I'm warning you, you guys, I'm even more scattered. Did you see what I just did? I tried to pick that up with the back side of the spoon. I am so... I don't have a word for it. I've been, I don't know, maybe I'm having a stroke, but I've been, you know, I would reach for a word, have a word in my head, open my mouth, and something entirely different comes out. It's like, what the hell? Sometimes it rhymes with what I really mean. Sometimes it's like just way out there. So yeah, it's been tough. Oh, Beck, hello, darling. I'm so glad to see you. Deep dives. All right. Yes, that's what I want to do. And I still do need to shoot a video on my perfect deck. And I've been thinking about that. If I can't just sit down and do it, I got to think about it. Okay. So let's look at the fire of Azrael come in and bring in the spirit of divination. I offered this to you guys. Whoops. Sorry. All right. She's out of control, folks. I offer this too. Oh, my gang. Keep me safe tonight. Please get me through. Oh, my God. Yeah. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're reaping what we've sown. Hello, Catherine. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is nothing but greed. It is nothing but the party of greed that has again and again rolled back regulations so that more profit can be made. And I am glad this is showing itself. We've got Pluto, you guys, sitting at 29 degrees. It is at a critical degree. Critical. We have a few planets sitting at critical degrees right now. The sun is at a critical degree, waiting to, you know, head into Pisces in a few days, several days. And, you know, critical degrees mean, think about, you know, before you have made big changes, or let's go almost literally, like you're moving, you know, moving house, as the British say. And as the day comes, you know, you start getting things ready. But think about as you get to that place right before you make the big change, it's like, yeah. You know, think about how that is. Before, you know, a wedding, any kind of big production like that. That build up until it moves into the change. And that's what we've got with the heaviest of the heavies. And and so there's still corporate greed to be exposed, right? In Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn. So we're seeing it. We are seeing what the price of this rhetoric has brought. And we know it. We've known it for a long time. So let's just see. And I mean, hold tight, you guys, because in March it changes. So anyway, I'm going to be doing a chart on that. I'm going to do the new moon chart and the chart on Pluto entering Aquarius for the first time. Okay. All right. Let's look at the decks that we have. Did I turn it? Yes, I did. All right. There's our little, I got new flashy balls. So my gang knows this. This is spirit. This is yours to communicate with. As soon as it stops flashing. Okay. See, I can bump the table. Okay. Not that hard. I want to get it so I can't make it go off by bumping the table. Okay. I have to wait till it stops now. And by the way, see the void there? Right there? He's a pocket. He's pocket. Isn't it great to see him? The Phantom Cat. All right, baby Joe, hi. I'm so glad to see you. Excellent, you guys. And thanks for the likes, too. That does help me. Okay. Now, where was I? We were going to introduce the decks, right? Oh, I wanted to see if I could set this up. Oh, damn it. All right, we'll figure it out. So the first here is, and like I said, I went for my older decks were just calling to me. They have a feeling and a vibe about them. And I do feel it with new decks too, but these in particular. So we have the Goddess Oracle. And this is Amy Sophia Marashinsky and Hrana Janto or Yanto or Hanto does the artwork, and they're incredible. Very early deck of mine. Then here's one that I've had for a while, and I just don't even remember it's there. In fact, I'll see it on the list and go, do I have that deck really? And that is, but it's a beautiful deck. This is Crystal Visions Tarot, and that is by Jennifer Galasso, and it's U.S. Games. The first one is U.S. Games too. Then this deck, we will take one card from this deck. Maybe I need to put this where it just won't get bumped. These are Phoenix cards by Susan Shepard. She has also done the Black Moon astrology cards. But this is a deck I've had for a hell of a long time, since the early 90s. And it is the Past Life deck. So we will take one card from this. See, now it's getting really sensitive. Okay. We will take one card from it. I hope you guys aren't like getting headaches watching that. We will take one card just to look at what collective experience in our collective past we need to be aware of now. And when after this live, God, you guys, I am really reaching tonight. After this live, go search my channel for the Phoenix cards and watch that video, because when I did, to do a reading with them, it's like, I mean, you can, but I asked what collective lifetime, what lifetime had we all been together, and it was this goddess image, and it was just uncanny. Hold on. I washed my glasses. Why, oh why do they look like this? Okay. Then the next is a gift deck from Laura in Florida. This is the Tarot de Carlotides. And it's a wonderful little Fournier deck. And this is, do we have author on here? No, they don't tell us the author here. That's a shame. Well, maybe I'll look at the book. At any rate, that's a newer tarot. Then we have the Anatomy of a Witch Oracle that I put the video up for last week. And this has been this has been a great little deck to work with so far, a great big deck to work with so far. And I see a role for this deck in setting categories, when you're doing a personal reading or for clarifying what is it that, what's the area that this is talking about to narrow things down. Then the Heindel. This is a beautiful deck as well. Very early one. It's got keywords. Luna loves keywords. Okay. So, Sherry, welcome. Let's see here. Let me go back and catch up. I need to adjust my back. The eclipse coming up. Yes, we have that. We've got, it wasn't enough that Uranus at the apex of a T-square with the full moon was sitting on my descendant, to the degree. but this next new moon is sitting on my moon. So, hooey. All right. And the pressure just changed. My right ear is ringing like crazy right now. Okay. Flashy balls, yes. We like flashy balls. Ah. Oh no. See, that's why I don't lend decks anymore. They drive me insane. I mean, I wash them with dish soap and grr. Carlotta Santos. Thank you, Marcy. That's the author of the Tarot de Carlatides. Thank you. The story behind the Heindel deck is wonderful. Oh, yes, there are. It's a great wealth of information. All right. Now, let's get a going, shall we? You know, I've been... tonight I just kind of sat down and just, who wants to talk tonight? And one by one I got them. And then the very first deck that came to mind, which was, was it the Heindel? Oh, it was the Anatomy of a Witch. I asked it what number it wanted to be. And then it came up with an odd number, so the oracles were odd. And then the tarot, do you see how I have to do things? I don't have to do them. I like to do them that way. Okay. All right. So let's hook up, you guys. Let's hook up. So I'm asking, what information do we need to know? What planetary influences and modes and area do we need to look at tonight? What do you want us to know the most? Ooh, the South Node. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. The South Node is the way we've come. The known path. It's the familiar. And I think I was talking about this last week, that we just, the better the devil you know thing. We would rather be in familiar pain than in unknown possibility, So that just discomfort of the unknown can outweigh very known pain at times. So, we have to keep reminding ourselves of where we've come from. And when we find ourselves in intense discomfort, it's time to ask, is this because I am refusing to move forward, kind of with the tide? I have an example of this. When you are raising children, and it's probably the same way if you're raising an animal from a baby, but with kids, it's a more drawn-out process, so it's more insidious. Once you get your routine dialed in, let's say they're 4 or 5 months old, you get everything dialed in and you're doing things that way, and then suddenly, things go along swimmingly for a while, and then suddenly things get fraught and sleep gets disturbed, and it's like, what's going wrong? Well, the child has grown, they've developed, and you're still parenting this child. So, and it almost gets more pronounced as they go through, the next big stages, because they're big, like sea changes. So just because we've done something one way successfully doesn't mean that that's the way to do it successfully right now and moving forward. And so the South Node calls our attention to the way we've been, and that sense of discomfort that tells us we're moving into unknown territory, and to just call it into awareness. Call it into awareness. Now, this South Node is in Taurus here, so we're talking about materialism, the material things. And, I started talking about the focus on heavy card stock and, just really ritzy, glitzy gilding and, all that kind of stuff. And it's blingy and we get very attracted to it. But is it functional? Is all that bling functional? And Taurus is ultimately practical. It's an earth sign. It's a fixed sign. So we are future oriented. So we can also be talking here about our very fundamental resources moving forward as the collective. We cannot go the way we've gone before, but South Node in Taurus says we're doing that as far as our material resources. And the fourth house is our home, the planet Earth. So this is calling our attention to where we are still doing the same old shit in regards to our home, this planet Earth. Yeah. Hello. We are in a battle, you know, our government, it's been such a kind of a slow slide into this extremism where we are now. And now we are seeing the extreme results of these things. When you have one part of the government that is so strongly manipulating to get government out of things like regulations that will cost people a little bit of money, it costs them some of their profits, when they're making obscene profits to begin with, then we have regulations that are rolled back, and then we have people cutting costs, and then we have safety that starts slacking, and then we have accidents and people die. And this is taking, I mean, the environment in this area. Okay. So. You can't solve the problem with the same mindset that created it. Absolutely, Samantha. That's a very succinct way of saying this. The third one was the fourth house, Catherine. So that's, yeah, that is domesticity. That is our home, you know, our physical home. It is our city, town home. It's our state. It's our country. It's our planet. You know, all of that on every level. And I think we also need to recognize, you know, we talk about the environment and we feel like we're sort of, you know, removed from it. But this is our home on a fundamental, very practical level. If we affect all of these things, it affects us directly, you know, sooner or later. So, karmic lessons around our Mother Earth. Yes, so the Dragon's Tail and Dragon's Head and Dragon's Tail, which is the North and South Node, are karmic positions. And karmically, you know, if you want to go back and repeat it, go ahead, and you're going to reap it. It just tends to come around with more of a punch the next time. Okay, here we go.
Tiny, tiny die. Please tell us who's up first. Please tell us who's up first.
Number 2. The crystal visions. And, you know, one of the things that I like about doing these things and picking decks that I just don't even remember, it's almost, you know, it brings fresh, I see it with fresh eyes. And also, it gives you an idea in real time, you know, how a deck reads intuitively, and you can get to see, did you pick up on the same things that I did? Is this deck, you know, do you feel connected to it? And then we go to the book and we can see what gets added, you know, the layers that the author adds. Okay. And yes, this is why I love this cardstock so much. And you know what? These U.S. Games decks that I've had forever, my Hanson Roberts, read with it for 30 years. It is so grungy, and it's not bent. You know, shuffle it like this all the time, and it's not bent out of shape. Okay. Enough bitching.
Teeny tiny dice.
What do we need to know tonight? Crystal Visions. I'm seeing 4, maybe 5 cards. What do we need to know tonight? What do we need to know? Okay. So we have Judgment at the top. Judgment, the card of karma. The card that says karma is inevitable. It's action and reaction. It's the law of the universe. Karma is a universal law. Every action has a reaction, has a consequence. Cause and effect. This is the strawberry cream Dr. Pepper that my kid bought, and oh wee, it's yummy. Okay. So let's talk about the judgment that's come down. So let's talk about the consequences that we've been witnessing lately. With the threats of nuclear war. Boy, I hate taking this shit to a dark place like this, but you know what? Let's look. And judgment also talks about death and rebirth. So this is information also on what it is that's dying. You know, when things get intensely uncomfortable before a big change, it's likely, a lot of it, because something is dying. If you have been through a dark night of the soul stuff, if you've been through initiatory experiences, through therapy or whatever, life, you know that it's that old, you got to be willing to lose sight of the shore. We're saying this so many times. But it can feel so frightening. And when the false self dies, when the false self and the ego, a piece of the ego dies, it can be terribly painful and terribly frightening because you don't know what's underneath that. You don't know what's going to rise from those ashes. So here's judgment, talking about all these things. And here we can start to focus now on what we want to rise, but we need to acknowledge what is dying. This extremism. And all of the dictators and dictator wannabes that have cropped up in the last few years, frankly, I would have been stunned if we got through Pluto and Capricorn without dictators popping up everywhere. But these are the things that are dying out. Again and again, we're starting to see countries rising up and saying no to these things. We're not anywhere near done. Okay, and then we've got Queen of Swords here. Discernment. Being able to, it's the air of water, being able to see clearly within emotions, within psychic ability and feeling that empathic connection, but still being able to see very clearly what's what. So she's kind of talking about straddling here, the mind and the heart. So we need to have both operating. Crystal clarity. Then we've got Page of Wands down here, who is playing a flute to a dragon. He's got some candles burning here, so we've got a little ritual going on. There's like a crystal ball. So this is... I'm seeing this as magical space and ritual, as, doing our part individually by, I'm going to take another card over here, by caring for this bit of earth, doing what we can locally, being aware of what's going on locally. And the musical instrument here, he's Page of Wands. So he's beginning, he's taking first steps, but it's in a creative sense. The candles indicate with awareness, but the music is in connection with spirit. Definitely in connection with spirit to create something new. Let's see what we've got on her. We've got the Ace of Pentacles here. So we need that mental clarity to know how to begin anew in a practical sense, in a very practical sense. And I'm going to take one on here too. We have the Wheel of Fortune there, and then things change. We start to create the new, and then we've got Nine of Swords. So there's going to be a lot of pain involved here. These are huge changes we're going through. This is an initiatory experience collectively. We're really starting to move into this global awareness, global consciousness. And it's one of those things where you can't push the toothpaste back in the tube. You know, this is the wokeness that the poor unevolved schlubs are railing against, because we see them going through these tantrums because they're feeling the death throes of the way they want things to be. The way they want things to be doesn't make any sense at all, and it's not really the way they want things to be. It comes out of trauma, whatever. But this is, we're watching the death throes of some of these things, and it's going to be painful. And I might as well take one there too. And there's the Hermit. Look, we've got all these majors here. So the Hermit says we have to go inside and dig out all of our trauma. We need to get on our healing business. We need to get about it while we have the luxury. When you look at, and I want to say too, just all love and blessings go to Turkey and Syria. So it's not just political stuff. The earth herself is going through such massive change. And so being aware of it, really being willing to look at it and think about what could happen. You've heard me preach on this all the time, of just thinking about what would happen. What would you do if the power went out? What would you do? How would you eat? Think about these things so that you can take care of yourself in a real emergency. Okay, and they're telling me another in the center. We have the High Priestess. It is time to get on the magical pony, get on your unicorn and ride. And, I am now feeling, and, there's no two ways about it. I wilt in January and February. I hibernate. And I have to keep waking up every morning, but I hibernate. And now that the spring awakening has started, look at all the pairs of wings here. It's time to kind of lift things up, and and look at the fairy wings over here. We've got like angel wings, fairy wings, butterfly wings. But start doing my daily meditation, Kelly Howell meditation. Slap on the headphones, lay down for half an hour. Amazing. So High Priestess just says, go back to what we know, use our skills on all levels, but most especially on the level where we are connecting with spirit and helping to bring, helping to connect all of us together that are trying to evolve along with everything. Okay. Yes, Samantha, I agree. Phoenix is definitely going to be a central theme. Having good judgment, slicing off the bad bits. Samantha says the fearmongers are realizing they're losing their grip, so they're trying to stir things up, but they're stirring counterclockwise. We're stirring clockwise. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Things kick up the hardest when they're just ready to go. In the Northern Hemisphere, if you stir... it boils up faster. Well, better out than in, I say, if that is even applicable. I don't know, you guys. Anyway, okay. I am very happy to have pulled this deck out. Yay. All right, and you know what I'm going to do? So I don't forget what I've used and what I haven't. I'm going to make sure I know. Okay, time to die. Number 6, the Heindel. So we're coming out with Tarot to begin with. All right. All right, Heindel. Oh, well, Tavy, I saw that. Yes, I agree. I agree. And, it makes me, I'm always saying things like, what does somebody have on them? Like with Trump, what does he have on these guys that they just can't bail on him? And there's something to that. there's some big, deep, dark secrets hanging out. Oh my goodness. All right. Hey, if you're new here and you want to join the chat, hit subscribe, and then you have to wait 1 minute after subscribing before you can come into the chat. But we'd love to see you. Introduce yourself. We have a wonderful small community here. It's nice and intimate. Okay, so now, Heindel, what do you have to tell us? Okay. Funny, he caught my eye in the beginning when I turned the deck over and looked at it. Parzival, Son of Cups in the north. So he is the Prince of Cups. He is the heir of water. And, okay, wait, no, yes. I got the, never mind. I'm not going to go back to that last one. At any rate, she was the water of air. This is the air of water. Okay, so the Queen of Swords was the water of air. This is her counterpart, the air of water. So again, bringing the intellect to bear, tapping into the connecting force to your emotions, to your empathy, in the north. The north is the realm of earth. The giving away a secret here, but the initiatory power of the north is to keep silent. It's winter. All right. He flipped. Let's see. What am I going to do here? We have the Empress and the Ace of Cups. The Empress with Taurus there. Let's go here and here and here. Okay. Boy, the court cards have been haunting me lately, and I think it's just, it's all down to people. People, people, people. All right. So we have the Empress and the Ace of Cups, and the Empress is our, it is Mother Earth herself. It's Gaia, the consciousness of the earth, and then another, layer of the consciousness of the earth, which is us. It's us. It's our consciousness. Ace of Cups in the north. So we are talking about that emotional connection, that bond, that mother bond, mother-child. And kind of checking out our relationship with our mom. How are we doing in our relationship with Earth? On all levels. These are also very healing cards. The Empress and the Ace of Cups is about the body and the heart, the emotions. And then we have the Prince of Swords, Osiris. So here's that death and rebirth energy again. So the Son of Swords is the heir of air. Then we have the Five of Wands, conflict, and the Mother of Swords in the south. So this is the water of air and the air of air. And the air of water. It's all air and water. It's all the conflict, the heart, the mind. What we think we know and what we feel are just duking it out here. And as we hit critical mass with Pluto getting ready to change signs, it's the lessons of hierarchy, the lessons of tradition and dogma and structure and achievement. Capricorn is an earth sign, and it's about achievement and status. And so our hearts and our minds are conflicted. We've been sold a bill of goods about things. Our culture teaches us things about what success is, what achievement is, what it expects from us, what it considers beautiful and good and worthy. And we can feel ourselves in conflict with that. We you can feel, if you let yourself feel, we become numb to these things. You know, it's coming at us all the time and we get numb to it. And little by little you get used to things, and you so many things that you thought, "Oh, I could never." You know, I draw the line in the sand, I could never. And then the pandemic comes, and what happens? I have to start using plastic bags again. You know, there's just these things, and it's a chip away. Sometimes you have a choice about it, sometimes you don't. But then we can find ourselves in a conflicting relationship between logistically the way we're going about things and how it is affecting us subconsciously. It can affect us consciously too, no doubt, when you've got things like, you know, how many mass shootings in a couple of months? 60 something? And then the earthquake and this derailment and, you know, the weather in California, all of this stuff. And it shakes us out of our complacency, our doldrums, and it brings this conflict to the fore. So again, we are left with the choice of, are we going to do this the way we've always done it, as far as how we use our resources and live on our planet? I'm going to take a couple more here. Farida, hello. Pregnant with possibilities, learning to utilize our emotions with more clarity. Yes, excellent. Emotions are not just something we receive. Well, we yeah. I gotcha. Okay, I'm going to take a look here. I was thinking, you know, this is wands. This is the Ten of Swords, ruin. And then we have the sun. So on this side, we have Mother Earth, and we have, when we're dealing strictly above the neck, strictly intellectually, the heir of air, the Prince of Swords, all intellectually. I know what I know, and I'm, you know, hanging on to that like grim death. That is what is going crashing down. This, like I said, only above the neck. Then we have, here's the well of feeling. And we have the water of air, so bringing the emotion in. So Queen of Swords in the last reading, Queen of Swords in this reading. But then we have the sun. And then we have death. Do you see what a mixed bag it is, you guys? Big changes. Hurt. Big changes are intensely uncomfortable. And every step along the way, you have to remind yourself, you have to find out what's good and how can I anticipate and maybe start changing ahead of the game, you know? And I know a lot of people are feeling it in terms of lightening their load with all the stuff that we have as Americans, or, you know, the generations now don't want grandma's china and all that, this physical stuff, you know? So we're kind of looking ahead to the way things are going, and how can I live as well as I can if the circumstances change from where I'm comfortable now. Death certainly says it's a happening. We had judgment up there. We've got death here. We're in it. And remember, this Pluto going into Aquarius is just the first step in. He comes back out in June. Then he's going to go back in and out and then back in to stay. And those are going to be long chunks of time in between. So this is where you start paying attention to these big movements that are happening. We also have Saturn in a critical degree. Whew. All about achievement, all about status. And it's going to really transform and shake up. But some things have to go, and they have to go permanently. And the sun here says that there, you know, there's a new day coming, but you got to let go of the old one. Yowza. Parliament Funkadelic. Yes. You feel deeply. The feeling can still be inside. Yep. Can be still inside or emoted, or both. True. Knowledge, Daughter of Stones, Earth of Earth, and the Moon. So this is where it comes back to this knowledge of Earth, the planet, our mother, It's cycles. It's magic. It's creation and destruction. Our home. What have we learned from the past? So we can pay that karma, learn those lessons, so that karma is paid in full. And we can move on, but it's going to take a deep dive. All magic bearers. Okay. Hoo-wee. No light subjects here, huh? And we have 4. Okay. So we're getting all the tarot out of the way in the beginning. Fascinating. Okay. With blessings to Laura for this amazing deck. All right. This is the easiest shuffling deck ever, ever, ever. Easy, easy. I mean, you almost have to think the cards to bend. It takes no effort. And I could get lost. All right. What do you have to tell us, Carlottese? Ooh, okay, people are flying out. Okay. We have the 4 of Pentacles, we have the King of Pentacles, we have the 6 of Swords, and oh look, the Queen of Swords. Out of every tarot deck tonight, the Queen of Swords is the theme. So I will tell you, beyond just that idea of the head heart thing, the intellect, the emotions. The High Priestess talks about a detachment, being able to see very clearly in an impersonal way. Detachment means I'm able to look at it and not take it personally. I'm able to look at it and see clearly, right? The Queen of Swords is more about intellectualizing the emotions. I'm going to talk about them. I can think them away. And that's not how they work. You have to process them away physically, because emotions happen physically. They are chemicals. There's a chemical signature of emotions. That happens in the body. We feel them. We have physical reactions to the feelings we're feeling. If you're not having the physical reaction, then you are stopping that reaction, and you can get bunged up in a number of ways on a number of levels, right? So the Queen of Swords has always talked to me about, when you look at that bloody sword upraised, she has always talked to me about past trauma, of the feeling person, woman or man, the feeling body that has been through trauma. And so I have learned to shut that feeling process off and just look at things intellectually. So I've always kind of seen her with armor. And the reminder is that armor's there for a damn good reason. It's not that it was, erroneous. There's a reason that the armor's there to begin with. But then we look at why and how we can process so that we can take the armor off. Because it's like, when you're wearing armor, yes, you're protected, but you also can't feel the air on your skin. There's a lot that gets shut off with it. And I'm taking a look at this card here more closely. So here's the Queen with her bloody sword and her little unicorn on a leash. Let's just take a look here. Yikes. She has lopped this guy's head off, and she is looking none too upset about it. I want to go here. Okay, I have to find the English section. Here we go. Swords. Normal position, sharp, quick-witted, intensely perceptive, misfortune, loneliness. Okay. All right. At any rate, there she is. So we really have to look at that Queen. And let me look her up in the other decks, too. We really need to look at the Queen of Swords message tonight when it's that loud. Okay, this is the Crystal Visions. The Queen of Swords is stern but feminine. She rules with her head, not her heart, yet she is not without compassion. She's wise and fair, honest and forthright. There's that, too. Ready for battle when necessary, though she prefers to keep matters civilized. The clouds of conflict part, illuminating the Queen of Swords with the light of hope. So, okay. So then again, we just really need to check our relationship. Hold on. Oh, I think the courts are at the end here. Yes. We just need to look at that relationship and see how we're doing. Are we being discerning? Are we seeing clearly? All right. The Mother of Swords. Was it the Mother of Swords or the Daughter of Swords? It was the Mother, right? Hold on. The Queen. Okay, that's what I saw. Mother of Swords, yes. Oh, do you see here that we also had Isis and Osiris in that reading together? Hey. Okay, Mother of Swords. There we go. Nut is the night sky arched over the earth. She also appears to be standing upright on her toes, as she would appear painted on the inner lid of a sarcophagus. The stars resemble a human with arms and legs out in celebration. A mysterious person, devotion, autonomy. Very interesting. Okay, so I invite you, we've had, a range here of descriptions from these three different decks. I invite you to cogitate on these things this week and see what comes up with it. Okay, so I didn't really look at these guys. Four of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Okay. So Four of Pentacles, you look at the tree being very firmly planted in the earth, kind of immobilized. We've got the phases of the moon here. Hold on a second. Interesting. There's these little stars. This is such a fascinating deck. So here, see the birds? Let's see if I can get them closer. Come on, please. Thank you. What do you see there? I see the birds with the little stars. There's a new moon and a full moon. Then we've got what looks like an eclipse. Phases of the moon. Four of Pentacles. I mean, look at this Taurus fourth house. It is very grounded. It's very, very material. Four, generally denotes earth. And you see the roots, you see the kind of the fruit being born on the tree, but you also see things not moving. It doesn't look like a living, breathing, moving tree. There are no leaves. It looks kind of stiff, right? So we can talk about things being stuck and stagnant, maybe wanting to stay in the old way. Then we have the King of Pentacles looking this way. So he's like, how can I get control of this situation? How can I increase my sense of empowerment so that I can release some of my control? So that controlling behavior tends to come when we feel disempowered, when we feel out of control. So the King of Pentacles there is saying, how can I be creative with my resources and deal with the things that have stagnated, the things where we are too focused on things staying the same. on possessions, possessiveness. And he looks to how the Six of Swords here, the new ideas, we come up with the new ideas if we're willing to look at the problem and the past, and we come up with new ideas that can really take us forward intellectually. And let's see if I still got charcoal here. I want some more yummies on that one. All right. Let's just do a couple more. There's the Four of Swords underneath the Four of Pentacles. And there we have the Princess and the Pea. And then we have Ten of Swords over here again. God, you guys, there's shit a-coming. There's no two ways about it. There's shit a-coming. So we should get busy. We should get busy. All right, let's see here. Gotta love the sleepy decks. Let's see, Carlotti. It feels like a happy springtime deck. Yes, yes, it does. And I think that's why it popped up in my mind. Queen of Air. That is really interesting, Catherine. Isn't that interesting? Okay. She's hiding from who she is. That could be very interesting. That's interesting too, Samantha. Blocking herself off from everything but her mind. Holy shit, ding, 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 Catherine, there it is. That's where we are so lost in our story, in meaning. And here's the thing. Human beings are different because we are hardwired to look for meaning in things. And, you know, when I talk about dropping the storyline, what we're talking about there is applying meaning to things, being able to confront life at face value with awareness, but without applying layers of meaning, you know, that take us into places that hurt. You know, we hurt ourselves with our own mind, because think about how you can play out something that did or even didn't happen, that was a conflict with somebody, and there's an argument, and you can just, at least I'll speak for myself here, because I know not everybody does this, but play out this whole conflict and argument, and the stress response happens. My body thinks it's actually happening in real time. And I'm actually punishing myself with my own mind and my stories and things that aren't even happening. So yes, wow, that's really excellent. Yep, Catherine, I agree. So thoughts are exactly our first attempt at trying to define the energy we feel vibrating around us or within us. For me, the Queen of Swords is usually stop, be still, and pay attention. Okay. So yeah, right, but thoughts are us applying meaning. Us applying meaning. So this is why the Buddhists were talking about stopping thoughts, because those are what get us into trouble. We're suddenly off. We're not there in the actual encounter anymore. We're off in an analysis and a meaning. And, you know, try to stop yourself from doing it. You can't. It's all about balance. 7 dots and 8 dots on the felt. What are you saying there? Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, Joe. I'm sorry. Yes, Samantha. So there's where the intellectual part comes in. Is we, and the Tibetans call it Shenpa. And it's that second when you're hooked. Something happens and you know, you're just, suddenly you're engaged, you're hooked, you can feel it pulling on you. And yes, exactly as you're saying, then you sit back and go, you know, what happens if I don't apply that meaning to this situation? What if I just assume everyone has the best intents? How do I want to respond? My best example for me of this is when they were trying to, you know, railroad me out of my job, and they would bait me on a public forum. We had this, what was it called? Base Camp or something. It was like a project management software. We were using it totally not for what it was for, but it was these, people had access, and there was this one thread that everybody had access to, and they would just take me to task on things or set up impossible circumstances for me, and I would just want to and I would write the answer, and then I'd be like, okay, erase. So that's feel the feelings that have been generated by this, because it's going to happen like that. You can't stop them. Feel the feelings, back to equilibrium. And then I would think, okay, what's the business response? Hi, on this date, you told me you wanted me to do this, 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 and this. And now on this last thing, you're telling me you want this, this, and this. I can't make these work together. Can you please tell me what my priorities are? And I would never get an answer. So, that's it. That's the process. Is you feel the Shenpa, you deal with whatever that emotional energy is, and then you step back and go, now, if I'm not taking this personally, how do I want to regard this and process this? Okay. Oh, 4 of coins. I see. Oh, here and here? On the left. Oh, it says on the felt. On the left. I gotcha. Okay. Never noticed those dots. Yeah, they're little stars. They're little bitty stars. Let me see if I can make this happen. Oh, please. Oh, please. Yeah, you see them? Why can't I figure out right and left here, you guys? Oh, my God. Wait. Okay, stop playing. All right. Stage of the moon. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they have me. Let's find out. I doubt that they're mentioned. I don't think, especially like decks like Fournier and Los Garbeo, when there isn't a lot of room in the book because of many languages. Okay, let's see what it says. 4 of... Oh, I keep forgetting the whole thing opens like this. Jeez, I get so confused. All right. 4 of Pentacles. Loss of material wealth. A hoarder, usurer, skinflint, miser. Okay. So this also tells us, how are we hoarding our resources because we are so emotionally either attached to them, or we're so fear-based that we can't let things flow. And then let's look up 4 of Swords and 10 of Swords here. All right. 4 Swords. Respite, rest, repose, replenishment, solitude, exile, retreat. And then 10 of Swords here is ruin, pain, desolation, misfortune, grief, trouble, disappointment. All right. So here's the Queen of Swords in amidst all of this, in amidst, needing to rest from the things that are going on and just kind of focusing on keeping the material. And then we've got this side where we have the king going, how do I work this out? And then we're moving forward through difficult times, but 10 of Swords says there's still some shit that just crashes and burns. And here she is, processing all of this. Okay, can I have one more? 4 of Wands. Look at that. We've got these 3 4s, and then we've got Temperance. So the 4 of Wands, we come out of it in the end, but Temperance, again, balance is the key. Integration is the key. If we don't, what's that? People that don't know history are doomed to repeat it. The things that you have not processed are going to be waiting for you in the future. And sometimes if you lock them away hard enough, they will come again externally, and then it'll really... And, it's true that with karmic things, and Saturn is the Lord of Karma, and remember that we get choices with Saturn. We can take responsibility, or we can deny, or we can delay. And when we do the latter two, and ignore, that's another one, it just goes around again, cycles around again, and it just sort of collects more of its own, like energy. And then when it swings around again, it's bigger. But it can also just be bigger because we have this trigger inside of us. We have this stuff that we've kind of locked away. And when it comes from the outside and triggers the inside, you got it all at once. Okay. So integration, looking at the past, being discerning about it, how has it affected me emotionally, and then integrating those lessons for reals. And you can, it's a process. You can intend and start it, but it can still take a process to really restructure your mind and change your mind. Okay. Pheromones. Okay, wait a minute. Judgment, that first card. No, we can't demonize the intellect. It's about balance with the feelings. Just, recognize that's how powerful the mind is. It can get us into a great deal of trouble. And it gets us out of that trouble too. Okay, pheromones or 4 coins, top one with the tree. Pheromones. Joe, you are a mystery to me tonight. I know, the phoenix, yikes. Time dots along the... Okay, the first 2, why not the 3rd and 4th? Those are suns, I do not know. 10 of Swords, face plant. Look at this 10 of Swords. She kind of looks like the Virgin of Guadalupe, doesn't she? Look at the cranes. Look at this. This is like Sacred Heart pierced with swords. Hold on, we did read her. All right. The 2 to kind of balance out the other celestial bodies that are represented, okay? Yeah, tough reading from the Happy Springtime deck. Well, we are where we are. And when we ask, what do we need to know? And then the Knight of Pentacles came falling off the bottom there. New skills. Time to learn some new skills. It's kind of like, we've been where we are for 24 and a half years now. 26 and a half from the complex itself, but this particular, our home here. And I know eventually we will have to move from here. And I don't know when that will be, but I think about it now because we're getting older. I think about it and I am getting rid of things. I keep thinking about what would actively go with me, what matters to me, what's really essential here, what can I get rid of, and actively doing something about it to sort of lessen your own load in the future. Okay, and now we will have 3 oracles. No, we've had you already. Number 1, the Goddess Oracle. All right, so the tarot cards have slapped us around. A bitch slapped us around. An auto-type typo. Oh, yeah. Proofread. Okay. This deck. This one needs kisses. Before I got this deck, I had a calendar, a goddess calendar, and it was this artwork. So I was so thrilled when I found the deck. When there wasn't an internet to find these things from. Or just barely an internet. When the internet was all bulletin boards on AOL. Good old 1994 is when I first got onto the internet. When every week you got a couple dozen AOL CD-ROMs in the mail, and you had to pay for AOL. And I would get mine free by doing readings for people with email. They would send me, the admins would send me somebody's name and question, and I would email back with the reading and get my AOL for free. That's hilarious. Okay. Sorry, I had to get centered there. Newt, second time she's come up tonight. Mystery. Pele, awakening. Lakshmi, abundance. Okay. Newt is, let's just go to the book. Let's just let her talk, shall we? Oh, these cards are grouped by culture. So I do have to look them up. Really? Oh, I guess not. Well, no, they are alphabetical. There she is. Ah, yes, there's a verse. So can you see her? There she is. Beautiful artwork. Look at her arching over the sky. Reach for me, touch me. I am always beyond your grasp. Don't try to figure me out, for you can't. I am the ever-present, unfathomable, unknown. I am the immensity of the star-filled sky. I am beyond human comprehension. In the vastness of my being, I am a mystery, even to myself. Oh, Catherine, what were you just saying about that Queen of Swords? But this doesn't have any of that overlay. I am a mystery, even to myself, and that's coming to terms. Oh, when I run that through my thinker here, I just feel this vastness. Just the vastness of space and the sky. Like she says, reach for me, and I'm always beyond. And yet, we are all the same thing anyhow. You know, we're entirely united. So those mysteries, being a mystery even to yourself, it's just there's always more to be revealed. There's always more to be revealed. Okay. Mythology. Nut is the Egyptian goddess of the night sky, also known as the Great Deep, the celestial vault, who daily gives birth to the sun each morning, then consumes it again each night. Disapproving of the incest of Nut as she lay over her brother Geb, the earth, Ra, the sun or high god, had them pried apart. Nut was then lifted into the sky, where she remains, her body formed into an arch. Painted inside the inner lid of a sarcophagus, she mothers and protects the dead on their journey. There's the phoenix energy again, the death and rebirth. Nut's twinkling, vast, dark vault stretches out in your life to remind you to open to the mystery. Have you been planning every aspect of your life and left no room for mystery? Is your life wound up too tight? Are you trying to make everything safe by defining it, labeling it, knowing it all? Boy, this is all the themes we've talked about so far. Give way to the mystery, the unknowable. The wise woman knows there is much in the universe that will remain a mystery and leaves space for it in the weaving of her life. Nut says the way to nurture wholeness is for you to trust that the mystery you let in will be exactly what you need for your journey to wholeness. That's wonderful. And these cards have little rituals that you can do too. So then we have Pele. Hawaiian volcano goddess. She is awakening. I surge, I pulse, I throb. I am never still. I am perpetual vibration, a rhythmic beat, the constant hum that you hear. I am always moving way down in the deeps with fiery vitality in places you can only feel. When necessary, with dramatic, fierce volcanic eruptions, I wake you up with lava and fire. I say, pay attention. And that, Pluto going into Aquarius, I think more than anything, we're going to get some real bell ringers happening. Pele is the volcano goddess of the Polynesian peoples of Hawaii. According to legend, she appears to people as a beautiful and mysterious young woman just before her volcano is about to erupt, or as a gnarled old woman who lights her cigarette with the snap of her fingers. Oh my God. Although her priestesses, the queens of Hawaii, were converted to Christianity when Mauna Loa erupted in 1880, Princess Ke'elikulani recited the old chants, gave offerings of silk cloth, and poured brandy into the bubbling lava. Pele, thus appeased, grew calm. Pele's appearance signals a need for awakening. Have you been sitting still for too long? Have you been lulled into sleep by the evenness in your life? Has reality been too slippery to grasp? Get ready to awaken your awareness and come into full consciousness. Now is time to see things as they really are, to initiate change so things can be as you want them to be. Now is the time to wake up to your potential and power to move and shake. Pay attention to all that life is telling you. Pele says when you nurture awakening, your life becomes creative rather than reactive. There's the creative reactive thing. So infinitely more powerful place to be. It's just a different kind of power. The creative, we have to have the receptive. We have to experience. Why do we create in the first place? But to experience what we've created. Yeah, so it's a wheel. All right, then Lakshmi. How can she say the same things we've been saying? Okay, abundance. I am the ever-flowing outpouring of plenty, the inexhaustible, the never-ending. From the fullness of my being, I give richly and opulently, generously and copiously, luxuriously and liberally. I am limitless. For I cannot be contained. I am everywhere and will never cease to be. Worship of Lakshmi began prior to the Aryan invasion of India. She's considered the animating force or Shakti of Vishnu, the preserver. Her sacred animal is the cow, symbol of abundance and plenty. She appears here with elephants pouring water, another symbol of her powerful abundance. Although described as floating on the eternal sea of time, resting on a lotus, Hindu gods say that the gods churned the sea of creation from which Lakshmi appeared in all her splendor. Okay, the meaning. Lakshmi appears in your life to tell you it's time to nurture wholeness by recognizing and living from abundance. Is your existence defined and contained by the parameters of scarcity rather than abundance? Are your finances based on a poverty consciousness rather than limitlessness and plenty? Is your outlook on life one of never having enough than of having your needs met? And let's stop for a second here and say that there are so many people that are forced into that situation. So I want to acknowledge that it's not entirely by choice. Let yourself open to the abundance, the bounty that exists in your world. Lakshmi says that abundance is hard to perceive if lack, poverty, and scarcity dominate your consciousness. Well, boy, howdy. The way to wholeness for you lies in opening to the flow of abundance in the universe and recognizing the abundance in your life. When you open to the flow, you become part of it and you draw it to you. When you become aware of the abundance in your life in all its forms, friendship, health, money, love, beauty, talent, humor, etc., you can call in more from a conscious place. Okay. There we go. I have nothing to add. Okay. Oh boy, I gotta catch up. Hold on.
I gotta catch up with you guys.
Wow. Joe, yes, wow. You know, then you know down to your toes what this is about. 3 cats, yay. I'm just looking. Yes, never ever assume, Joe. Miss Daisy, where are we going? Oh, Sierra, welcome, dear. When you nurture awakening, your life becomes more creative than reactive. Yes, I love that too, Sierra. That's a bell ringer. No, so that's what I'm talking about. Just see if you can, get on the front end of the change. Nowhere for the moment. I have too many grandbabies to tend. Yes. And Tavia, really resonating. Yes, I know. It's right. Well, and that's the difference between Tarot and Oracle. Tarot is going to point blank you. Here's what the hell's going on. And then the oracles are the voice of spirit coming in. Spirit facilitates the information from the Tarot, but it's down to earth. It tends to be more down to earth. Then the oracles to me are like the, the divine voice coming through, which is why I don't have to sit and interpret them. Okay. Lakshmi's another one. Yes. Yes, Samantha, do a little belly dance. Yes, my God, Lakshmi over there. Oh, and you guys, there's been a terrible tragedy. My altar lights have quit working. I'm hoping it's just a battery in the remote, but yeah, that's Lakshmi right there. And she's something else. That's very, very true. Give her wonderful things. Give her honey. Give her milk. Give her flowing water. Give her, beauty and light and flowers and music and incense. Give her all kinds of things, and she will give you whatever you need. Ah. Yes, people who have been forced into that situation. Well, and that's the thing, is we have to acknowledge that so many people have this scarcity mindset because that's what they experienced growing up. And this is where, you take responsibility as you hit your Saturn return to look at where do my mindsets, where do my beliefs come from? How were these beliefs instilled in me? Do they work for me? How do I change them? The process of becoming an adult. Ah, yes, Samantha and Sierra. I'm so happy to have you both here. I almost just burped right in your ear, you guys. One of these days I shall forget myself and you'll get it. Okay, now I am going to go to Anatomy of the Witch next, truthfully, and then we will go to Phoenix at the end. I just feel it. I feel it. All right. All of our decks. See, this is a brand new deck, but it's a good shuffler too. I love you too, sweetie. Nope, that one wants to come off the bottom. All right. Let's just do one at a time here. Smell. Okay. So this is one of the things. Ooh, you guys go back and check out the unboxing for this deck, because Laura Tempest Zakroff, the author and the artist, replied to the video. And she told me I got grumpy when we had taste and smell and vision, and then we had sound instead of hearing. And it was like inconsistent. I didn't like it. And she had a wonderful, wonderful response to that, saying she was thinking about people who don't have hearing, but sound can still impact you. You still perceive sound, whether you have hearing with your ears or not, which is a very interesting thing. And I really appreciate that, that deep thought on things. So we have smell here. Smell is the element of air. Let's read. And I appreciate that she has them alphabetical in here instead of grouped by the groups that they're in. So thank you, LTZ. All right. Two beautiful glass Egyptian perfume bottles stand surrounded by jasmine blossoms, while a nearby brass incense holder releases swirling waves of smoke. And do you hear me getting stuffed up? We've had the windows open all day. They're closed now. But I also got some Nag Champa, and I haven't had it in a while, and I burned some, and it's stuffing me up. Okay. Consider, our sense of smell is deeply linked to memory. Yes! This connection likely evolved from our early survival instincts, our need to be able to detect danger from predatory animals, bad food, or shifting weather. You know how you can smell rain and snow coming? As well as remember what foods are good and what places are safe. Scent also plays a huge role in attraction, who we are drawn to or repulsed by, all through the power of our noses. With the combined powers of earth, fire, and air, we use smoke to cleanse as well as perfume spaces, and also to communicate with spirits, deities, and ancestors. Keywords are fragrant, aroma, pungent. So the RX here is the prescription, because I was looking at it as retrograde. That's the symbol for retrograde, but it is the prescription here. Scent can have an impact on your state of mind, hopefully beyond any allergies. Thanks for acknowledging that, dear. As I stuff up, applying a familiar scent to your body can bring comfort. Yes. Burning certain kinds of incense can lift your spirits, and getting some fresh air, regardless of the temperature outside, can awaken your mind. Make note of which smells empower and inspire you so that you can tap into those energies for ritual. So important. This is why, and particularly smell can be really connected to trauma. It can also be connected to, and I'm looking for the opposite word of trauma, something, impactful, but in a good way. Those things that stop you in your tracks, good or bad. Smell can be very intimately connected to those things. You know how a scent of something can take you bang right back to when you were a kid at a particular time, and emotions, it just zips you back to that place and time and all the feels that go with it. If I smell every once in a while around here, I'll get a coal smell. Or if you go to like a Ren fair and there's a blacksmith with a coal fire, I have to go over and get in the smoke and smell that coal fire, because my grandmother lived in coal country in Pennsylvania, and when we would go visit her, the alleys in her tiny little town were coal. They were ground up coal. It was everywhere. And so when it rained, I mean, there was this smell, and every once in a while it'll hit around here, and I'll just stand there hyperventilating to get that smell. So this is talking about memory and using scent to take you to a particular mindset. So this is a place where smell plays an important part in ritual. When you have those scents that you use when you are in that deep mind state, in right brain state, in trance state, that smell will help you get there again. So it's really helpful and powerful to use the same scents over and over again in the same circumstances. It really anchors a feeling, a state of mind, a consciousness strongly to like your reptile brain. Okay, let me catch up here. I don't know if I'm going to take any more from this. Yes, gratitude is always good. At least we aren't cockroaches. Hell yes. Lonely Soul, yes. That's such a great deck. A sensitive olfactory sense. Yep. Pheromones. Or an autocorrect said it for you, yes. Horse barn. Oh, so good. So good. Leather, horse shit. Yum, yum, yum. Hay. Yeah, horses have a delicious smell. Pennsylvania woods with running water. Oh, particularly Tennessee woods and running water. Ohio woods and running water. Irish woods and running water. I'm sensing a pattern, Sam. Bonfires, yes. Patchouli and sandalwood, yes. Burning paper. So yeah, when we have a little fire outside, and my kids will do this too, if it's smoky, you go stand in the smoke to get your clothes all smoked, and then the next morning you still have campfire to smell. It's an amazing thing. Okay, so let's kind of set this aside, because I don't know if we're taking another card, but I'm not putting this deck away yet. Let's go to Phoenix. All right. This is a very small deck. And I have to look things up with this deck because I very purposely do not internalize or retain meanings for these cards. When you first get this deck, it's a past life deck, and you're supposed to not read about it, and you lay all the cards out in order, and then you pick up ones like, 3 or 5 or something that you're just really attracted to, or averted by, like, just things that stand out for you one way or another, and they can lead you to past life things. Okay. Epiphany. Smell of toast as the butter runs. Yum. And patchouli. Yum. Oh my goodness, you guys. Awesome. Really awesome. Okay. So, all right, I need to focus. I would like some wisdom on a time and place that is of impact for the collective. Don't they call this the shaman? Sorry. All right. This is the prehistoric sorcerer. So I was thinking, go back to a collective experience for us when we were all together. And so this is talking about when we were here in prehistory. The prehistoric sorcery, that's what they call them. The symbol you have chosen is a prehistoric cave design thought to be the portrait of a sorcerer. The composite figure of this magical apparition has the paws of a bear, the beard of a man, the torso of a lion, and the antlers of a deer. It is believed to have great magical significance and may be the earliest evidence of human shamanistic practice. It's got twig and berries too, but they didn't say whose those were. Okay. Painted, the place is the Trois Frères cave in the French Pyrenees. This design is typical of cave art in Europe. It is similar to ancient cave paintings found throughout France, Spain, Portugal, Germany, and parts of Italy. The time is between 13,000 and 11,000 BC. It represents one of humankind's oldest pieces of art, although poetry, song, and dance are believed to have been well established at this time. The unusual skill of the cave artists is the only surviving record of cultural advances that brought humanity into a new age of enlightenment. The knowledge of anatomy on some of these cave paintings surpasses even the skill of some famous Renaissance artists. Homo sapiens is believed to be at least 200,000 years old. However, early humans with physical similarities to modern man are only 50,000 years old at the most that we know of so far. It's believed that all humanity originated in Africa. So this, talking about cultural advances and enlightenment, or maybe this was just part of us, I want to get away from this idea of, things advancing and being backward and then enlightenment. But, it's, what I mean? There's a judgment there that's kind of grating on me. That didn't before. Things are changing. Okay, so because if you look at it, wherever humans are, we make music. We make art, we make things beautiful, we make things pleasing. This is just something that we do, along with finding meaning, applying meaning to things. But I think back at this time, we see that, meaning was starting to be applied, but it wasn't this, puny stuff that we're always dealing with. It was, the interaction with earth and the seasons and pure spirit with no, religious dogma and stuff. Wow, can you imagine? Groups. Little is known about tribal groupings among early humans. This particular cave painting is thought to be the work of a relatively refined and progressive Cro-Magnon man, a group that replaced the Neanderthal during this period. The prehistoric sorcerer was probably painted by the ancestors of the modern Germanic peoples of Europe. I'm not anyway going to read all this. Okay. If you have chosen this primitive symbol of the prehistoric sorcerer as a past life symbol, you feel a kinship with the most ancient souls who lived on this planet. You have a keen interest in the occult, hidden knowledge, and magic of any kind. You have a finely developed imagination and an ability to visualize events before they happen. This sense of vision allows you to imagine both the past and future. Like so many other artists and creative people, you are visually oriented. You'll be attracted to the way something looks before you need to know what makes it tick. You understand intuitively that what is seen on the outside is only a manifestation of what is felt on the inside. Here we go with this inner outer again, mind, heart. There's a tendency towards earthiness, Taurus there, but you're keenly aware of spiritual forces that surround you. In fact, your psychic skills are strong enough that there are times when you seem to have an almost X-ray vision. You may see or sense an illness in another body before you're ever told about it. You can be a wonderful judge of character. That doesn't mean you always listen to your own advice. When you're involved with people who are not as honest as you, you're much more tolerant than you should be. You may even tell yourself it's your pity and sense of humanity at work. You like to help others out of bad situations, and you see this as a challenge. But you're also motivated by a fascination with power, both positive and negative. Okay. You need to be aware you can lose yourself in shadowy forces as well as in the forces of light. You have an insatiable curiosity about religions and the occult. However, you're also skeptical and most likely do not actually believe much of what you read. You may even question your own psychic experiences. Ouch. Mulling them over in your mind with a fine-tooth comb. You're naturally curious. Okay. It goes on and on and on, but do we get the idea here? It's magic time. It's magic time. Okay, now the sense of smell here. We were talking about deep memory. Sense of smell and deep memory. Where do I want to go? I don't want to go to the Phoenix again. Well, let's go here again. I'm going to take another one from here. So we have deep memory, and deep memory of this time in prehistory when we were all here. See how smell can take us back to that time. When we burn these incenses, we're all talking about the smell of fire, campfire. All right. And we have banish. Ooh. So this is like witch work. Magical action at work. A pair of scissors trims the end off of a ribbon, while a piece of paper with writing on it burns in a bowl. Burning paper, was it you, Joe? Matches and a glass of water are standing by. In the background, that's good safety stuff there. In the background, a broken round mirror catches the reflection of the flames and ribbon cutting. Consider, while some may be averse to doing banishing work, it's really part of the creation process. Death and rebirth. We got to let go and make room. We're acknowledging the relationship we have to whatever we are banishing. We are acknowledging the relationship we have to whatever we are banishing while setting boundaries, deconstructing obstacles, or removing distractions, all of which will clear a path to new possibilities. To uncreate can be just as vital as creation. We can banish harmful people and situations from our lives, as well as misconceptions we have about ourselves that society has thrust upon us. Once we have cut and cleared the way, we can begin to heal, to build again, to weave a new path. Keywords are unbind, dissolve, dispel, eliminate. Those 10 of Swords. Things are dying already. Let's look at actively taking part in the banishment of them so that, maybe some of these old things are dying off naturally, but we can add some energetic oomph to that by banishing the energy that is at the core of these. Sorry, I keep doing this. I love this shirt. It's a new shirt, but it keeps creeping up on my neck, and I can't stand having things up on my neck. Okay. The prescription: let go of what holds you back. Reduce clutter. All of the elements can be useful in banishing and may be used in combination. We're talking about air and incense here. Fire consumes, earth absorbs, water dissolves, and air dispenses. For example, words can be written on paper, earth, and set ablaze. Well, words on paper would be air and earth. Set ablaze, reduced to ash, fire, then released in the wind, air, or washed away by rain or river. Yes, yes, yes. So, you guys, the path that we've already taken, this old karma, how do we take an active part in really looking at that past, acknowledging where we've come from, acknowledging and internalizing and integrating what it's taught us, and then actively banishing the old stuff that is outworn and decluttering so that we can make room and actively start creating the new that we want to come in. Boy, these messages have been just like all of one sentence. Okay. It's hitting home for me, you guys. Wow, okay, there's a lot of talking going on. I love to see the conversation here. Smell of toast. Okay, Pegasus Farms. Gotta Feed nipper. Oh, hence the name. Get my flute out, start playing. Earth, yes. Have enough horse time. Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's okay, Sierra. Like I said, this is hitting home for me, too. Add some unctuous ingredients. Oh, to know and vision verifies the knowing. Yes, yes, yes. Everyone that I've talked to, her who's called me today, the topic has been about boundaries, setting them in place, working better with the yes, yes, yes. Old regime, meaning patriarchy. Bingo! Exactly, Tavia. That's the Capricorn. You know, Pluto through Capricorn has been this exposing of the patriarchy globally. Globally. So, I was supposed to say, talk to here. Okay. Social stigmas, gender barriers, personal insecurities. Yes. And like I said, we've been going through this compressed evolution. And a lot of it is because of social media, because we are able to communicate with each other. We are able to process collectively fast, fast, fast. So it's been hard because it's been so intense and so compressed. But we're going through it, and we just keep learning how to be better. Holy crap. All right, you guys. Well, I'm satisfied. How about you? They were talking tonight, weren't they? I'm sad Darcy wasn't here. I don't know where she is tonight, but she's probably out playing. It's still nice and warm out, maybe. So, like I said, I got nothing else to add. These were just, I love this Anatomy of a Witch. I think is going to be a companion for, you know, whatever other decks I reach for, because it's really good to, and I really like using the Phoenix as just a one message thing, you know. There's so much information there, but I just want to say thank you to my gang and to these decks for just the cohesiveness tonight. Everything was really cohesive. That's the only word I really can come up with. Yes, thank you all for being here so much. Hit the like button if you haven't yet. Oh, sweetie, I'm so glad you were here, Sierra. So glad to see you. And thank you, Marcy. A fistful of salt over the shoulder. Yes, you got that right. So, you know, until before the equinox, we're still in that, you know, dark part of the year. I mean, it's the waxing part of the year, but we haven't hit the light part of the year yet. So we're still working in the dark here and coming down to this Pisces full moon, and then going forward to when we hit the Aries full moon. Time to dig into what else needs to be unclogged and uncluttered and integrated and all of that. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Tavia. I mean, I feel like they picked me, so. Yay, Sierra. Yay, you're welcome, Stephanie. If you know, anybody that's not subscribed that may be watching, please think about hitting the subscribe button. There's also Patreon, $3 a month just to support the channel. I appreciate every single one of you. And I can't wait to see what deck comes up next month. I got some ideas. So, yes, my patrons, the money that I get from Patreon lets me buy a deck every month, and I'm so grateful. I'm getting ready to rearrange my whole card collection because I need more room, and so some books are getting rearranged, and it's the great moving, the great migration in our house. A lot of things are getting changed and rearranged, and things are going, and it's awesome. So grab onto that energy. Thanks again for being here. Yeah, the Heindel is amazing. Like I said, grabbing these old decks that I haven't in a while. Yes, click the notification Sierra, and everybody else. And I want to say, blessed be to you. I hope that between now and next Wednesday, you stay safe, you stay healthy. For the entire planet, I pray that, I pray for all the loss, those who have lost thousands, tens of thousands of people. So praying to she who hears the cries of the world, Kuan Yin, goddess of compassion, we ask for comfort. Still reading your conversation, Sam and Sierra. Indeed. Okay, thank you so much for being here, you guys. I will see you next Wednesday. And I'm going to give us another ring to take us out. That was a little loud, but hey. Again, thanks so much. And until you say, that's kind of loudly. Till I see you next time. This is Luna. Blessed be.